Hi traders, it's Roberto. It's Wednesday, March the 2nd, and this is a tutorial slash review on the FXA advisory um, trade indicator number 3. And we've been testing it for the past few days, and we've had some good results. And I just wanted to, gotten a lot of emails on people that have purchased this indicator and wanting to know exactly how to trade it. And there's so many ways you can do that. One is, if you know your candlestick patterns and you do get an alert, that's a very powerful trade signal, and I'll give you a few examples of those. Another way is different times of the day. You can trade off the 15-minute chart. I like trading off the hourly or the 1 hour and 4 hour chart because there are less signals, but more pips. So let me give you an example of a trade set up on Euro Yen. Let me just go to the 4 hour chart so I can just show you trade signal. Here was a trade signal at a previous support, and 4 hour chart, inside bar, 197 pips. So I like taking these signals. Here's another signal here on the 4 hour chart. First, remember the indicator generates an alert, not to get in, just generates an alert. And when price breaks below, you'll see the level. It says sell at 124.32. That's where you enter the trade. And on this trade, this was significant. I actually missed this trade. I was not at the computer. When I came back, it was too late. It had moved so much. That was another 210 pips to the downside on this trade. So it's quite simple, but you do have to know how to trade it correctly. You have to know how to use this indicator. The beauty of it, it's only $50 when this indicator a year ago was selling for over $500. If you go to the website, you see agency advisory number 2, and this is number 3, and it's only $50. It's not going to be $50 for a very long time, so get your copy as long as you can for $50. So let's look at a couple of trades that we took during the New York session. Now, normally what I do is look at the higher time frames and see what is the overall direction. And on this pair, on USD Canadian pair, we were in a strong downtrend. As you recall, I think we have an evening star on the monthly chart. And there it is. There's an evening star on the monthly chart. And if you look at the indicator, the panel, on the daily, the market is in a downtrend. On the 30-minute and the 15-minute chart, we're in a downtrend. So during the New York session, all I did is wait for a signal to sell, and there it was right there, and managed to stay in this trade. Got in around here and exited down at the bottom. That was about 35-40 pip run. So it's quite easy if you look at the higher time frames, and you can see, for example, here we're in a downtrend on a daily chart. Look at the weekly chart, we're in a downtrend. If you know how to look at overall direction and be able to look at higher time frames, we have bearish engulfing candle on a weekly chart. We have an evening star now on the monthly chart. So all you need to do is start looking for trade signals using this indicator on the smaller time frames. And it's just that simple. Just look at your panel and just check the daily and the 1 hour chart. If they're all red, then that's even better, okay, because that means the market. And at one point, all of these were red during the New York session, and we had a nice sell-off on this pair. Okay, this is when you don't want to take a trade. Notice this. We're looking at a let's go to the 1 hour chart. Notice the 1 hour chart. No direction. Complete consolidation. We don't have higher highs, we don't have higher lows. The market for the past 24 hours has been flat. This is when you don't take a trade, because you're not going to get anywhere. There was a signal generated here to sell about 5 hours ago, or even more, 6 hours ago, and nothing has happened, and nothing will happen till tomorrow. We have non-farm payroll coming out on Friday, and we also have news events out of Australia. So Australian dollar probably is going to just consolidate the next 24 hours until that news event. So you have to make sure you just can't trade every signal that's generated. You really have to know what is the overall direction of this pair. On a daily chart, we're in an uptrend. On the smaller time frames, we're in a downtrend. Okay, so ideally, we would start looking for entries. So this was a buy entry signal here, and that worked out because the daily chart's in an uptrend. So this was the only signal that it went up for about 50 pips. So that's it for Aussie dollar. Let's look at some other pairs. Here was a great short scalping opportunity when we the market. Notice that the market's already essentially put its daily range. It started down here, it went up about 161. This is the Aussie New Zealand dollar. Then it printed a red candle and an alert, and the entry was 109.62. And this is a small scalping opportunity and gave us about 45 pips. We're still in an uptrend, and we're just capturing that small retracement, which is substantial. It's about 40 pips. So all you need to do, again, just look, count the number of pips that the market's already put in to see if this trade is even doable. Because if the market's consolidating and you get a sell signal, I would suggest not taking it. Now it's finding support and going back up. But notice how it gives you this alert. It says get ready level, and then about 10 or 15 pips later, there was your entry, and then the market just went down from there. Okay. And normally around this time of day, or I'm sorry, that was about 4 or 5 hours ago, at the end of the New York session in the markets, after they've done this daily range, most likely they'll retrace, and I'm looking at some pairs that will retrace before the London Open. So I go back to my tile and wait for a signal. The Euro USD was a great buying opportunity today at the bottom once it's sold off. And now, again, if you know your candlestick patterns, this is going to be very easy to do. There's the sell-off, okay? From the swing high to the swing low, 50 pips. Then what happened? It printed an inside bar and gave us an alert, and the entry was there. I'm sorry, I know you can't see it. It's very, that green is the wrong color for this chart. So it's 108.28 was the entry. And then it just went up from there. This would be a very difficult trade if you don't have these indicators, because you're looking at this chart and you're thinking we're in a downtrend, and you would expect the market to keep going down, but then the indicator generates a support level. And if I didn't have this indicator, I would think, well, the market's already done 50 pips, probably has about 30 more to go, so maybe if it breaks the support, maybe I'll sell, but it didn't do that. It gave us an inside bar. That's clearly a reversal candle, and it generated a signal to buy. Here's a great trade on Euro Australian dollar, and I had sent the signal to sell at around 151. Never even got up that high. I think the highest it got was around, it was here, 150.78. So if you were able to take this trade, great. If you couldn't, this indicator would have definitely helped. There was a sell signal here on the market. Let's look at the higher time frame, because there was a sell signal, I think, on the daily chart. And there it was. There was a signal on the daily chart. And if you just keep your charts on the daily and not look at the smaller time frames and avoid all this noise of any retracement, look how many pips you could have taken on this trade. Over almost 1,000 pips. And from February the 8th. Okay, so the signal went out today in the 1 hour chart, but it was in response to this break, this break to the downside. Right here, this was the support, broke the support, and then it generated a signal. Notice it generated a signal right there after that retracement from the Asian session, and then it just never looked back. It just shot right down. So it's great to be able to look, see the market, know where the market is going using, sometimes I'll just use a simple trend line so I know that the market's in a downtrend just looking at the trend lines. And then having an indicator that generates a signal that gives me more confidence to take this trade. So oftentimes you'll look at a chart and you may think where the market is going, and then you see it retrace about 100 pips, and then you're really confused because you think if you took this trade down here at the bottom of the channel, that not would have worked out. So the market has to retrace, and at the top of the channel, notice where the let me just draw this better. We have the top of the channel, and that's where the indicator, the FXA Agency Advisory 3 indicator, gave us a signal right at the top of that channel. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. Any questions? If you have not purchased your copy, you can do so. There's a link on the bottom of this page. $50, that's it. I've got some great reviews, and a lot of traders have been, for the past few days, have been using this and making some really good profits. Thanks for watching. Have a good trading week. And remember, we have non-farm payroll on Friday, and I will be sending a strategy and email on that particular news event. Thanks, guys. Talk to you soon.